My dude, I can't talk right now because I'm eating my vitamin C's. That's why. I'm trying to get to a place that looks cinematic as well. I chewed them all up. This does. Done with citrus. All right. Golly, all right. Ladies and gentlemen, how are you today? We are back in Wonderlands, off embarking on the journey to essentially get some cool new weapons. Now, I did a whole bunch of videos today. In fact, I wasn't even sure I was going to make the stream. That zoom, I know. How close? That close. That was good, Luke. But, yeah, I made a bunch of videos today. I looked down and I was about to make another one. I was about to jump in and let it die and, and mess around and try to get the new helmet. Make a video on that. And then I was like, oh, it's 4:45. And I haven't even made a thumbnail for today's video nor the stream. So I need to do that as soon as I'm done making this video. As soon as I'm done streaming. Make a video for today's video. Also, Luke says, I'm sick today. Dude, Luke, first of all, hopefully you feeling better, buddy. But, I've been feeling like also pretty goddamn, like I don't know about you, man, but I keep falling back into sickness. It keeps pissing me off. Like I want to just be done with it. I want a fresh week, you know? I don't want to keep being anchored down by like, hey, guess what? You're just feeling a little bit off. Just enough to be like, hey, asshole. Blech. Now, granted, there's people in our community, Fluff in point, you know, who's having to pass a kidney stone and shit, so problems are relative. Okay. Yeah, but we basically tested every single one of the new things, and by God, also I need to update the fucking sub goal. Golly, I also need to make a thumbnail or like a banner for our channels. There's a lot happening. I'm also very I'm also in like I feel like I lost my mojo. Like I've made a bunch of videos today and I don't really feel like I performed really well. You know what I mean? It could just be in my head, but it is what it is. Okay, but we did check out all of the new weapons. The only one that to me really, I only got to test out a couple. I got to test out the new spell, which is looking awesome. It's this. This spell oh, I can't show you guys. It's a spell that seems to always have at least 3 charges. Every spell that I've gotten, it always has 4. But it basically fires like these ranged projectiles, or arrows, essentially. It fires arrows, and then when they stack 3 arrows in one person, they splinter off and attack enemies in a radius. So like they kind of ricochet like Jacob's weapons. But you can have 2 of these and just start like spamming them essentially. And I believe this is also ×2, this spell I have. It's good. I haven't scaled it in any way, but it's good. Okay, but I think if you scaled it, it'd be better than good. Okay. But I also tested out the new SMG. The SMG is the only thing that is like absolutely worthless right now. Like something's not scaling within it. At least for me. Maybe if you got like a primordial version of it, it literally scaled that terribly. Like usually you're able to see something give. And I put it on a melee or a gun build that was stacked, but it maybe just not scaling off of gun damage, the SMG grease and something. But that's the only one that I've found that it's like, it's been, that one's horribly scaled. But everything else, the bat, like the club, is insane. Like I got a cryo version of the club and it's just destruction incarnate, dude. Madness. But also, I ran the thing again a couple times, so now we have 1,000. You guys can see right by Lone Syndicate down there. We have 1,000 currency to spend and re-roll and find some gubbins. I still have yet to get the spell that Fluff has got, which is like this Nova spell. I've yet to get the shield. I've yet to get the other melee weapon. I've yet to get the other spell. I think there's 3 spells in total, but there might just be 2. Regardless, there's a lot I haven't gotten. I don't know if everything is attainable. But granted, the fact that I've yet to see that one Nova Roid AoE spell that Fluff has leads me to believe that everything's on the table. I'm just getting absurdly unlucky. But who knows? Also, Shurigan Eyes. I didn't watch Naruto, so I just picked it because it kind of stands out, and we were doing dark magic shit. So I was like, let's have some dark eyes. Now you mention it, now I want to change it. Because I don't want to be some sort of weird Sasuke, I don't know. Luke says, we go from 2 C to 11 in 2 days. Yeah, man. I'm not sure exactly what that means, Celsius. Yeah. But same thing, man. For us in Canada, it's been like it was like sunny, and then it was just snowing, and then it was sunny again, and it was snowing, and now we're in the like, rainy weirdness, which I actually like. Rain's just peaceful. Also, another thing it says, I'm nice and healthy. Even took a COVID test today, and I was negative, so all good here. Yeah, but aren't you supposed to take a COVID test when you're feeling shitty? Like when you're like, fuck, am I gonna spread it? I guess you could be like a carrier or whatever it's called. Sounds so bad. Lensing it says, oh, that looks so cool. Repeating cast with multiple charges. You finally got your wish. Not really, man. Because like to me, it's weird. It's a cannibalization of its skills. So like, for instance, it's just weird. Like the idea that like you have so many like. It basically is impossible to get to the end of this, and you're not able to benefit because simultaneous weaving, like this is not the combination that you want, essentially, is what I'm trying to say. So you want like multiple charges with spells that can just throw out immediately. And that the reason why is because that could at least make use of stuff like this, where you can reset it. But yet there's not really a spell here that like makes this worth it. Especially not worth the nerf of Double Knot, because it's just like, why do I want to go down here and get all this crap, you know? But to me, man, that's the weird thing here. What's good, Anthony? Anthony says, ours has been primarily rainy and feels like fall, not summer, but Monday it's going to be 90 high humidity. Ooh, careful what you wish for, Anthony. This shit could be bad. But at least there's something, man. But I don't know. For me, like peak weather is apparently what people in UK constantly have, which is just rain. A little bit of gloominess, you know what I mean? Because I come alive when the world says I'm gonna take a break. Okay, I'm like yes. When it gets hot and like, what is it about people that's like, hey, it's like freakishly hot outside. Let's go do stuff. It's like what? Like also I'm talking about like when it's freakishly hot, like when you're about to get fucking heat stroke and people are like, fuck it, now. It's like why? Luke says, I see nothing from DLC 2. I'm back on DLC 3. We're back on Borderlands 3. I mean, hey, man, if you haven't found Borderlands 3, get after it. I don't know. To me, I'm very, like, I like builds. So, like, to me, playing with new weapons that are actually good is nice. So, I'm actually having fun with that. But let's get to it, ladies and gentlemen. This is the stream, baby. Just sit back. Let's get it. All right? Ready? That's what we're gonna be doing for hours, by 2 hours maybe, give or take. We'll see what happens. Luke says, I make a blood explosion and Graveborn that just melts chaos level 1 to 0 to 25 in just 3 hours. Nice, man. Yeah. With the blood explosion. What do you mean blood explosion? You mean like a sword explosion? Yeah, you mean? Interesting, Luca. Yeah. Because there's a also one thing I mention is the new class mod is also really good. It's like really good. I think it's probably the new best melee weapon. Also, I think the new bat weapon, Salt and Pepper, I think is what it's called, or Salt and Battery is what it's called. I think that new weapon is probably the best for everybody. Because like if you get a dark magic version, you hit something once and it'll be like a great heal stick for you. So it's huge, very good. Lone Syndicate says, lol, why you don't want to be Sasuke, Grin? You don't want to go on a journey to avenge your clan? I don't want in my deepest heart of hearts, man, I got that Linkin Park edgelord who's wearing a hoodie and just like, get away from me, mom. That's where I'm at. All right, I love my mom, but that I've never been that, but I've had it in me. I've had that like, I fucking angst. But whenever I see angst actually like unleashed and embodied within a human being, I can't. I cannot. Maybe it's because I'm terrified of that version of myself that I'm like, yuck. I'm like, this is too much. You know what I mean? And Sasuke is literally the epitome of like, rein it in, buddy. Smother your demons, because come on, he's got his edgelord, he's a fucking dickhead also, he's a fucking cynic. I hate it. And then there's the other side of the coin, which is Naruto, who is just fucking like, you're the guy who gets cucked. I'm sorry to say this, Naruto, but it's true. Okay, you're far too positive, you have a weird fucking jovial nature always, and it's weird. Okay, I don't trust you. Anthony says, alone, nah, he doesn't need what is this? Orcamo pedo energy detected this way. What? I don't know anything about anything. Do salt and better. Yeah, it's the one. Volcanus says, I don't like temperatures above 50, and it's been about 70 to 80 for a few days. So I feel like I'm in hell. Yeah, man. To me, I love cold weather because you can just lay around a cozy sweater, maybe get a blanket and just fucking you know. Although I will say, when you have cold weather and you're having ice cream, you're kind of sick in the head. But you know, we do it constantly because it's just ice cream's the best. But what do you call it? When it's hot, like the feeling of like when you're overly heating is horrible. Like when you're cold, you can just put on a bundle, get close, and you'll warm up. But when you're fucking hot, you just want to rip off your skin. It's like the worst, you know. So I empathize, Valkanus. Jesus Christ. Luke says the action skill you gives you your Reaper bones. Okay, gotcha. Yeah. Action skill gives you your health to do damage. I think that's Reaper bones. Is that what we're talking about? Luke says, I want to be a JoJo character, gay and awesome. Isn't that that's like a synonymous meme? There was a time, I think that this is synonymous within the structure of memes, where essentially like JoJo is on, everyone was talking about it. Like, you need to watch a show. It's only for, hey, you can't handle weird? Here's the show, pussy. Boom. And everyone was saying, watch the show, watch the show, watch the show. And then it just became, I think people got so tilted by people being like, and so into it, which it seems like a very interesting stylized show, but people got so annoyed with it, they're like, it's just, we're gonna weaponize, like, if you watch JoJo, you're gay. And it's also said in not like a complete like homophobic way. It's more like and there's just a bunch of like really stylized dudes in the whole show, and to me, I always cracks me up whenever I see, because it's so weird that's just so synonymous now. Where like you see anything JoJo now in the comments, you just see people lighting people up, and I kind of love and hate that that's the part of the internet, you know. Anthony says Orochimaru, I'm bad with names, is a dude that wanted to take over Sasuke's body. Oh, it's a little yucky. It seems a little sus. Oh, that's in anime land, that's the least creepy thing I've ever heard, honestly, which is sad. Valkanus says, I got my iced coffee all year round. So people probably think I'm crazy when I get it in winter. No, winter makes sense, man. Again, to me, there's something like refreshing about stuff like that, you know. Like there's something about like ice and in like even just water that makes it feel like, okay, all right, it's a little bit different, you know. But yeah. Also, man, I have a like there's a thing we had a couple days ago when I got back from our crazy like expedition on like putting a giant decal on a semi truck essentially. But we got Wendy's that day, and Wendy's has like this. I think it's like a flurry mixed with coffee, and it's like in a big. It just looks like an iced coffee basically, but it's got like such a awesome. It's just delicious. It also doesn't feel like, sometimes you have like a drink and it feels like super sugary to where you're like, oh my gosh, I feel like I'm getting gassed out every single time I drink. But that one, man, I'm craving that again. That gave me a lot of energy and also was delicious. So you're like, oh goddamn. Also, I don't know if it had the most sugar, although probably. So yeah. Losika says, I like cold weather because I like the feel death's cold embrace. I was about to say, Lone Syndicate, you are the psycho among us that have cold showers regularly without even having a hot shower at first, which is to me just like a lot. Like the what kind of I can have a hot shower, enjoy it, do what I gotta do, and then for 3 minutes exist in just discomfort and pain. That's fine. But it's just to be like, you know what? All that is existence is pain. You go into it starting that way, lunacy, absolute lunacy. But Wendy's frosty ooh, that's true, man. Man, to me, we've talked about this on the stream all the time. Wendy's is peak. All right, I don't know what it is. I every time I have McDonald's, it looks like shit. It looks like it's killing you. It looks like it wants to murder you, and it's not even hiding it. Wendy's is just sitting there, man. It just feels like it hits. Sometimes you get some weird lettuce with like a giant stem in it, and you're like, what the fuck is this texture in my mouth? But other times, it's peak. The only thing that sucks about fucking Wendy's is I probably exist within all fast food, but it's like you have to buy, like, it's cheaper to buy a lot. It's like classic U.S., America, Canadian, Western world, but it's cheaper to buy an excess than it is to just buy a portion of that is normal. And then you feel like, if you're like me, who everyone here probably got brainwashed as a kid, who's just like, you got to finish your plate. And so now we're all like have this stupid thing in our head that's basically like we have to eat, and even if we're full, we have to overeat just to basically exist and without feeling judged, or like we're like taking food away from starving kids in Africa. You know, like it's, and I say that, but it's true. I have this feeling of like if I have a plate full of food, I'm like, I'm a son of a bitch. I need to eat it. So that's how these fucking people get you. They're like, hey, we're gonna give you all these fries. And if you don't get the fries, then it's going to be more expensive. And then you're sitting there with looking at a whole ass chunk of fries. And you're like, I got to eat this or else my brain will not deliver serotonin, okay? Because this is what I was born to value, I guess, is finishing things, which is good. But food, that's how you get a little gluttonous. I got an iced coffee all year round. You don't like iced coffee, Luke? I like iced coffee. Although I think everyone, I don't know if you can not like iced coffee. I think you just haven't had the right iced coffee. So when some people say I don't like anime, it's like you just don't like, you just have decided not to like this. You know, I bet I could give you the best version of that thing, or the thing that I think you would have the highest probability of liking, and you'd be happy. You know. All right, boys, about to see our harvest. It was a stupid, damn slow roulette table. Vulcanus says, I like cold weather because it generates a crap ton of body. Yes, man. Same me, man. I've always had an abnormal body temperature, man. Although, I don't know. A part of me, like, apparently there's a lot of value to saunas. Like, a lot of value. Like, you want to be healthy, saunas are, like, a very high priority thing. And apparently, cold showers don't give you... Like, a lot of people think, like, it's submerging yourself in cold water that gives you, like, a lot of the benefits. Like, it's, like, it releases, I don't think you release a amount of cold shock proteins when you're doing, like, a cold shower. I think it's unfortunate, but I think you need to do a cold bath. Whereas, I think a hot bath actually does simulate the same thing. I think it's just because, basically, like, there's something about, like, your body will basically create a thermal shield or something like that. Some sort of weird thing. I was listening to a podcast and the person was talking about it, and I was like, oh... So you gotta have a whole ass tub full of cold water and ice in order to get the benefits. And I'm like, this sucks. This sucks. Whereas again, I think if you had like a hot bath, that could be something, you know. But also, I don't wonder if you can even get that as warm as you need it to be, you know. Also, there's something just, you know, like when you get out of the shower and you've had like a cold shower, you've ever jumped in a lake just to feel alive again, you know, or something. It feels like a jolt to your system, like you feel like alive almost, like a little high kind of like zap. But when you just sit in like a hot ass bath for like an hour and it's remained hot, you kind of get out like, feel like you just been like through like a blender. You know, you don't feel juiced up. You feel like, oh god. It just defeats the purpose of a fucking bath or a shower. Granted, I don't know anyone who has a bath to clean themselves. I think it's a thing in Japan, and I'm like, yuck. You're just kind of sitting in your own filth. Where is it? We'll look at our yield as soon as I get all the... Oh, I have a full inventory. God damn it. Oh. We'll drop all this. We're not really... Yeah. We're just here to get specific things. Okay. Alright. Where is it? Is that it? Got it. And this. Got it. Is that it? Oh, no, there's one more legendary thing here. It's the Tide. Yuck. I keep picking up the new helmets. I think I've gotten so many of them now. I think someone's already had a save file where they have all of them released. So I think I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to pick those up. Oh, but I missed one. This. What a lucky grab, actually. Okay. Before we check our yield, let me see what's going on. Jammer says, hey, how are you? How are you, Jammer? How are you? Are you living your best life? What's going on today? Was it boring? Was it exciting? What's happening? Ugh, it's horrible. It's disgusting. Jammer says, the new gear is more of a change your whole build for just this armor or gun. Really, Jammer? I actually don't mind that to me. But also, I'm not sure if that's true. Because, yeah, the new class mod just gives you a ton of status. So if you're playing Stabo or Graveborn or something like that, I think it's just going to be beneficial in that way. But that was loud, by the way. That was the loudest thing I've ever seen. Jesus. But as far as the weapons, the gun sucks. Or at least the gas gun, the one that like you shoot out oil, that one's terrible. But the bat's good. I hope the other melee weapon's pretty dope. I'm hopeful. I haven't played with everything yet. I wonder what the new spells are like. The new spells are kind of boring. These are the ones that we currently have equipped. They're not boring. They hit really hard, which is rare for legendary. But there's something to be desired, you know. Luke says, you guys put ice into coffee? Yeah, Luke, you don't try ice. Again, Luke, you fucking, you enjoy it, all right? There'd be one version of it that'd be good. It'd be sweet enough, flavorful enough, whatever. Same thing with tea. Like, some people are like, I don't like tea. I'm not a coffee person. And I'm like, calm down, okay? You haven't had tea. There's 1,000 billion versions of tea, okay? You could find a tea that you enjoy. Well, Ticket says, JoJo, I could get into because they were trying so too hard to be serious. You couldn't get into it because they were trying too hard to be serious, and I couldn't take it seriously when their jawline of the gods male model shit. Yeah, I couldn't get into it because to me it was just like there's so many other shows that are exactly tailor-made for me that I'm like that, you know, and I'm like, I don't have time to watch a show that I might love or I might hate when I have a laundry list of shows that I know I will have a higher probability of enjoying, you know. Natty says, nah, Grin, 10-minute cold shower minimum all year round. Yes, that's excessive, but also I was thinking maybe it's just one podcast, but this guy I think he's called something Lieberman, I think it's right. I don't know if that's right. It's a guy who I watch his podcast. He's like a science guy who cultivates a bunch of information and kind of talks about a subject. But yeah, that was one of the sad things I heard. I was like, oh, but also cold showers do have a benefit. It's just for your skin, so it gets your skin to be reactive and like releasing heat and sweating and all these things. But yes. Luke says, in Brazil, I love KFC. I love chicken. So, yeah, KFC's pretty good, man. I like the KFC chicken burger, man. That's just like, we got the mayonnaise on it. Oof. It's so good, man. God damn it. Every time we talk about like fast food, I always like, it's just like, stop it. Don't do this to me, please. All right, let's look at our loot real quick. We got a companion with primordial lease. I will say that I found a higher probability of finding primordial rings this week. I'm not sure if there's something in the update that did that. I probably is. I just from forgetting. But companion damage by 22%. That's the shark one. I mean, the on kill is a little nice for 8 seconds too. That's not bad. Also, if you're fighting a land shark, you just get a stupid surge because why not? I wish they would give you something like something more easy, like when you kill 10 enemies, you get a surge of damage, something, you know. We'll see within our inventory what's new. We got this. Ooh, okay, we got a Stabo and a Spore Warden. Ability damage, and critical stuff, or spell stuff. Okay, I might keep that. It's not really, yeah, it's not like special. It's not primordial or anything like that, but still. A volatile, tidebreaker, two charges, that's not bad, but it's not even primordial or chaotic. Sharkbreaker, nope. What was that? Gun damage? Sharkbreaker, I think, just has a higher base scaling. And at least it looks that way. Or maybe gun damage just has higher scaling than spells and stuff. Who knows? More spell damage, melee damage, save your soul, exit, no. Ability damage? Shankbane, yeah, it's a shark thing. That's not new. Oh shit, is this new? This is new, right? 50% chance, yeah, it's new. Okay, Spore Warden, specific. I'm not sure if that can be different. It's kind of weird that it doesn't have an element tied to it, but it says, Pinction, action, or punction. Attacks have a 15% chance to fire attached crossbow to nearby enemies and refund a portion of the ammunition. How does that work? How does that work? Attacks? So any attack. So it means like, yeah. Okay. So that seems insane for pixies. You just chuck a bunch of pixies, you're attacking, detonating that constantly, and it's doing what? Attaches a crossbow to nearby enemies. Cross bolts to nearby enemies. I guess it's so it just doubles your damage or something? That seems pretty good. It's pretty good, actually. We'll throw that in our vault. Anything else here? Anything else? We got crappy weapons that I accidentally picked up. No, that was it. That was, wow. It's not a very good yield. Honestly, it's quite sad. We did find a class mod that I thought was worth looking at. Where is it? Class mod, is it? Yes. Okay, so we did mark. Okay, we got 2 things to deposit. Otherwise, two things to take away from that 1,000 souls spent. And we're gonna do it again. Is this it? I gotta wait for my thing to catch up. Yes, that's it. Do we have a lot of space? Got a little bit of space. This. Boom. Perfect. I can't wait to try that out. Actually, that necklace seems pretty excessive, even for any build. But anyways. Ladies and gentlemen, I have to clickety-clack. Give me a sec. Oh, I guess I gotta go here, delete this first. This is this. By the way, I found my thing. Last stream ended in a weird, like, anxiety-induced... me like, oh shit, because I thought I deleted the save that I had all the grinded stuff on, and I was like, oh no. And I've always had that fear in my head where I'm like, what if I delete the wrong save file and then I load back in and it's just all of my work gone? I'm like, oh, we should make a backup just so it's not as much of a nightmare. Volcanist says, I haven't had Wendy's in a long time, so I'll have to try the fries. Man, you got to try it. Let me know how it is, because I like it tastes, like, to me, I used to love Tim Hortons iced coffee. It was quite good, but that one was, to me, I think it had so much cream in it that just kind of made me crash. Like, I was like, here's some caffeine. I just immediately crashed. Luke says, I'm not North American. My coffee is as hot and smells with a lot of caffeine. Yeah, man, enjoy. But that's also I think over across the pond, hot coffee looks also great. Lozinga says, cold bath, I never thought about that. I might try it one of these days, but I don't like baths because I'm just sitting in my own dirt. I don't like it. Yeah, no, I think that's probably why. I think a lot of times in like pools, there's like a shower to get all the crap off you and then jump in, you know? What's good, Azza? Azza says, hey y'all, what's good, Azza? Volcanist says, I'm in Pennsylvania. Jeez, good. Is that right? I think there's an L in there somewhere. Pennsylvania. There we go. So I get every season. Yay! Hey, dude. In Canada, we don't get every season, but we get I think we were like the second coldest place in the entire world, and at one point last year. Beaten by Russia. Our Russian brethren over there across the pond apparently are equally as horrible in terms of the deck that they were given by climate, etc. But also our summers are like hot enough to where you would die of heat stroke. So it's just like, the good news is no insect can live here that's bad or that's a problem. So that's nice. So everything just gets wiped out every consecutive season. But you know, winters are horrible, all these things. Lozinga is also, so apparently the Deathverse beta starts May 20th. Yeah, next Saturday. I just made a video about talk till June 5th. Can't wait. Yeah, Low Syndicate. Also, I forgot why we're over here now. Dang it. We're going to have to spawn over to the new place. It's going to take a little bit of time. I'm just complaining. Frankly, it's not that bad. But what do you call it, man? I was, it dawned on me that I was like, oh, shit. And luckily, Deathverse is also on PS4. But in my head, I was kind of like, oh, man, I forgot I'm going to need to buy a PS5. And I'm like, I don't know, man. There's still, like, it just feels like such a fucking gut punch to buy a PS5 right now. Like, there's no value in it. What is it? Horizon seemed like it was okay. It seemed pretty cool. But I want more gameplay things. I didn't get more gameplay things. They got more story things, you know? So... to me, I don't know. I want, like, to me, if God of War is out currently, then I'd be like, fuck, okay, fine. I'll get God of War, and I'll be able to play Death first, win-win. Still expensive, still crazy to think about it this way, but something. But to me right now, it just feels like I feel like an asshole buying a PS5. I'm the only guy like that. Well, granted, I have a PC that can play games, so that's my own, like, kind of, whatever. It's a blind spot again. But yeah. Jammer says, how do you like the DLC? Jammer, to be honest, I like the idea of the DLC. I hate its execution. I think if they had like bounties every single week that was like right here that you could literally see being checked off the list every single time you'd come out, which is maybe get melee kills, maybe that'd be shitty. Don't get melee kills, but just something that said like it was something that came unlocked. I think they're giving us gear is completely skewed so that this event is basically redundant within 2 seconds. But I like the idea of like this thing. Like going through these is actually quite fun. Going through these with a team is fun. The point is, or the problem is, there's no incentive, and there's no like funness in that. You know, like there's like Gearbox I think needs to check out. What is it called? The games that people like, World of Warcraft, those kinds of games that basically have like bars filling up, things that make you feel satisfied by completing things and things that make you feel like wanting to complete things. Whereas your players are at endgame, they have all of their, a good bit of their gear usually. They're at max level. Like this does not take a long time, so you need to add other incentive structures rather than just kind of being like here. Because to me, I like this idea. Do I think it's worth? This is the meme in the every title I make essentially is DLC. I don't think it's DLC. I think this is the thing I would say. To me, I don't think they expected Wonderlands to be this successful because I don't think they would give us this if they did. And then 2, I think to me, if like even 3 of these mirrors, I would have taken like 3 of these mirrors with like objectives and like weekly bounties to do that would award you a unique legendary only attained by handing in these bounties, so that there's some reason to do the fucking bounties. But I would take all 3 of these mirrors for like some of the DLCs we got in Borderlands 3, which I thought were fine, but they kind of were hollow after you were done doing the main story, you know? And you never had any incentive to go back to those areas. Like, I like the idea of them having reasons to create an environment and then for us to go back to them. And I think the mirrors, the chaos chambers are kind of an avenue in which we can do that. There's just not really good incentive to do that because they kind of gave us everything all at once. And I think that's kind of silly. But also, I'm not going to not do that because that's what like people would, yeah, that's just how people will do. Yeah, anyways, but yeah, I think I like the idea of the DLC, the mirrors. I have fun going through them. I just have zero reason to do that. But I'm also the guy that literally like grew up playing Borderlands 2 and would farm a boss over and over again, the most monotony thing you could ever imagine. And I was content, you know. So to me, that is actually a step up from that. But there's no value, especially considering a lot of the legendaries to me are devoid of like fun. What I mean by fun is some of them are powerful. It's just there's no reason to get the version of them that is the best. There's no incentive. That's what I mean by incentive structure. So like if there was a perfect version of a Fear Not that had a special text in it that said companion scaling or melee scaling, then that would just uncap a lot of the builds and have it be incredibly fun. If there was Torgs that had like they could roll with an insane projectile speed and fire rate thing on it, so that every one of them could kind of become a sword explosion, that'd be amazing. Like there are these things that they could motivate you to hunt them endlessly for like the best version of it, but that doesn't exist. And granted, I think the Chaos level 35 things just to me isn't working out. I'm not going to be at all excited or happy when they introduce Chaos level 30 or 45, whatever it will be, 40, who knows, because it's just like a ton more work without there being any real like change in meta. Like if they released a bunch of new legendaries and then said, okay, now you're going to be hunting for these new weapons, there's going to be fun in the air, there's also going to be this new thing to work towards, sure, but there's nothing like that. Just like, hey, do all that you just did again. for the same kind of damage gear. It feels bad. It just feels bad. For me, at least. Some people might be like, I love it. Fuck me up. I'm like, okay, sure, but that guy. Valkyrie says, I get a caramel iced coffee from Dunkin' Donuts. Ooh, that sounds delicious. Caramel iced coffee, golly. Brian says McDonald's 2x caramel on ice, iced caramel coffee is where it's at. That sounds delicious. It's iced coffee. Also sounds like diabetes, but also sounds delicious, man. Man, yeah. To me, what do you guys feel like? Yes, there is something to be said for like eating something when you're hungry, but when you have like a drink that every single time you go back to it, it hits. There's something about like a drink that seems like it always delivers. You know what I mean? Or sometimes when you eat a burger, you're like, I'm not even into this, or it's like, it's not enough flavor, or I could have drawn. This is fine. I'm not really a food person though. But sometimes when you have that right drink sitting there, it's like sweet. It just has some sort of kind of thing to it, and it's just every single time you drink it, it's fresh. It's like it just happened again, you know. Also Fluff popping in again. What's good, Fluff? Vulcanus says a bar below doesn't work after first reload. You have to use crossbow weapons, and in order to get it to proc again after the first reload, you have to switch weapons. That sounds horrible. Moxie was testing the bar below. Okay, horrible. That sounds terrible. Jesus. Okay, well, it had the potential to be good, maybe. But you have to use... I mean, to me, that sounds like it's... Dude, you know what it fucking sounds like? It sounds like it's the best for pixie weapons. Like, I wonder if I could just have a... Yeah, if I could literally throw... Because how long does it last? Like, because, yeah, my thought is you just have a bunch of pixies in your thing and, like, throw a pixie, switch, throw a pixie, switch, throw a pixie, switch. And then you just have a bunch of pixies that are all... Because these are also cross bolts, right? Yeah, these summon crossbow bolts. So, to me, pixies just keep winning. Now, maybe they don't because they're considered... Well, no, it should be considered attack. Maybe it means you attacking. So, I'd have to shoot the gun in order to get the effect. I don't know. Did Moxie test that? I wonder. Let me know. Luke says, Grin, you like relaxed and cute games? I like a type of game, and I also like a feeling of fulfillment, I guess. So, like, to me, again, the game that I kind of crave is something that does something that has, like, again, I told you guys this beforehand, but my like ideal game would be an open world game where you play like a king that starts off in like a shitty hut, and like a broken down kingdom, but with a lot of land. And not you have to, a lot of these companies do like, you can place this individually with this weird broken tile set, like, positioning system. And I'm like, no, just give me like, do you want to build a farm over there and make it like an okay farm? That's going to cost this much money. But in the future, you're going to be able to upgrade that farm and make it fucking great. And then even greater. And then just like, what's happening? And then like even fucking crazier. I want that. And then I want to have a world where there's things to do. I like to me, I always miss the Fable economy where you could like literally buy up a store in a random town and that would start feeding you money. And you start gaining money. You start doing quests. You get a little bit of pocket money. Then you buy another store. And then you go back to your fucking kingdom. You build some shit. You make an army. And then you could have like a DLC content where you could go do stuff like this where you're going to do excursions. Also, if there was like fucking loot in the game, that would also be dope. But there has to be like a reason for you to do things. All of these companies to me do like achievements or collectibles. Why? It's fucking pointless. Like to me at least me, this could just be me, but I get so much more value out of seeing a house that looks like shit turn into a fucking magnificent palace. Okay, that's way more satisfactory for my brain and my dopamine than anything. And to me, that's just like something. Also, that would give merit to like fetch quests that everyone hates. But at least if you could bang out a couple of them, you could make a ton of money, come back, build up your empire. You know, things like that. To me, like that to me is nice. As far as the whole Stardew Valley type, like just building farms, I feel like that would be fun. But I feel like at a certain point, I would be like I would feel like I'm not doing enough. You know, like I'm not covering enough. Like some games have there's progression, but it's slower than hell. It's like this, you're chipping away at stuff. It's like the MMO thing where it's like, okay, we'll come back in a week, and you're like, what? Or like the more you do things in a day, the less effective they become, and you're like, I just feel like I'm an asshole playing this hard. You know what I mean? So yeah, but that'd be my ideal game, is something where you could like have investment and there'd be reasons for you to invest and you'd feel fulfilled by investing, you know. Also anything that had a cool gameplay kind of loop, whether it be combat or something like that. Although when I said type, by the way, I meant like I like first-person games, third-person games. Top-down games kind of leave me a little bit like disenchanted. Like I don't feel like I'm in it. I'm kind of feel like I'm playing like a board game, which is fine, but just doesn't have that like. Games make me feel like I'm kind of reacting in real time, which makes me happy, you know, and being able to see where my character's going and seeing behind him and dodging and stuff like that. So I like the first person and third person games quite a lot. With that being said though, man, I love watching the Evil Dead game that's out right now, especially seeing the monster perspective. That's such a good example of like changing up the formula in a really meaningful way. kind of like the monster hunter kind of thing. I'm not sure you guys have seen the new Evil Dead stuff, but it like, I don't know why. I'm actually really satisfied watching that game be played at a high level and whatnot, or even just played at normal level, frankly. What's good, Little Savage? Little Savage says, hey, Grin, how's it going? It's going pretty good, Little Savage. We made a dent in some of the new legendaries. We've gotten the necklace. That's a new one for me, at least. Faceless says, I'm so excited for Deathverse. This time I will be trying to get the decal. I hope they do a battle pass. Yeah, I hope they do something, man. I hope they do something that is like a substantial, because the one thing we did to get clarification of is I made a video today about talking about the open beta essentially, and one of the things that they said is that like it was in the terms of service essentially of like, hey, do you want to get this like is bonuses from participating in the beta? You'll be able to you'll have to do all these things, like you can't have the different accounts, you won't be able to get it that way, just kind of like, hey, make sure you check your bases kind of thing. But one of the things they mentioned was that this is going to be available in the first season of Deathverse, so that means Deathverse is going to have seasons. I don't know what that exactly means. I don't know if that means like in season 3 are they finally going to give us a new objective mode or a new kind of like a new game mode or a new map maybe. Maybe every single, season there'll be a new map to mess around with, stuff like that. I think they'll play it by ear probably, but yeah. Jammer says, you're saying my name wrong. Jamar? Oh, Jammer, here's the thing, man. I don't know if I'm going to be able to say that now. You see, you should have corrected me immediately, like as soon as you seen me. As soon as you seen me. Because now I've said your name enough to where now it's engraved in my mind as that. I'll do my best. Jamar. Feels weird to say. It's weird to say. Alonso says, in Borderlands 2, till this day, I didn't have a max level Northfleet rocket launcher to get tired of. Yeah, man. Well, that was the other thing. To me, I think it's how do I express this? This could be absolutely ass backwards and wrong, but I feel like there's a huge missing piece within a lot of games development where it feels like there's a lot of people who know how to do games, piece them together, but it does seem like there's a weird QA disconnect between, like, it almost feels like there's no QA testers that are meant to sit there and be like, this isn't fun, or this does not make me want to keep playing. You know what I mean? Like the farming for a Northfleet is incredibly complicated and random as hell. Maybe it got better through a DLC. I don't remember. But farming for a Northfleet in Borderlands 2 was you had to try to get these little bug things to turn into badasses. It was incredibly hard. And when they finally did, you'd have one chance, and you'd spend 90% of the time trying to get them to spawn, and then you'd have to fight this fucking ungodly strong enemy. And you were just kind of like, what the fuck is happening? Like, why? What, this is not like a cute Easter egg. This is immensely annoying. I'm all for something being challenging, but I think you do that by making it so that there's a quest that makes it so that you have to work for something, kill this enemy. That's the thing that takes away fetch quests from being so shitty, is if the fetch quests actually rewarded you properly. I don't think many people would have a problem with it, because you have something to kind of dig your teeth into. The problem with the fetch quest is you do it and then you get gold and you're like, well, that was boring as hell and I got nothing out of it. Arguably nothing out of it, I guess. Also, let's drop our gear before we go pick up everything. Volcanus says, my name is a combination of the Dono bots from G1 Transformer. I don't know. Boys, you need to tell me the name immediately, or you need to accept that this is now your nickname here. Okay? Because let me tell you, Fluff knows this, Lone Syndicate knows this. Yeah, if your name is not completely obvious, broken into thing, Lone Syndicate. I've seen both of those words before. Idiot brain can compartmentalize, that. Okay? Fluff, I see Mr. Flufferkins, far too fucking long to say, Fluff. Boom. Okay, so that's how my brain works, and it's a disease. Okay? Lone Syndicate says, for me, the drink is either ice green tea or lemonade. Ice green tea. Do you have those Arizonas in your place, man? I remember those were always one of those things where I'm like, I can't believe I got so much juice. I can't believe I got so much juice for this. This is delicious. I don't know, it's crazy. It's also one of the ones where like you don't buy it because you're like, I'm gonna buy an energy drink or something else, and then when you have it, you're like, why don't I buy this all the time? It's delicious. Like, it's great. It's just iced tea basically, just clean. Although, man, that's the one thing that always freaks me out a little bit. And maybe it's like people who are coffee people are like probably equally as weird, but like there's a weird thing within like people that, like, I don't know, how do you guys feel when you see people just drink all the time Dr. Pepper, or not Dr. Pepper, Diet Coke? That's what I always see people have. But it's like, it's weird. It's like clearly an addiction where like they have it more than water itself. And I'm not judging. If anyone likes what they like out there, it's fine. I'm just saying it's one of those things where I see and I'm like, that seems like it's a genuine human hook, like an addictive hook within people that they're not willing to abide by. And maybe it's like a lesser extent because people have some addictive behaviors essentially. So this is like a lesser evil to where they were, you know. But I just noticed that that's something that I see so many people fall into, and I'm like, I don't know if I want to be like, yeah. With that being said, though, I have coffee every day, but yeah. So again, I have my own weird thing. I just don't know if coffee is as provenly bad for you as aspartame and sugar and shit or whatever preservative. But probably. Also, I think there are people who can just like stomach that stuff, you know? There's always going to be that 40-year-old guy or 80 or a 90-year-old person who smoked his whole life and is somehow the healthiest he could possibly be because genetics are unfair, basically. Give me this. Where is it? Okay. Luke says, try this. Try what? Little Witch in the Woods. What's that? What's Little Witch in the Woods? Vulcanus says, it doesn't work with pixies. It doesn't? What about Guns with Wings? Guns with Wings? Guns with Wings might. I feel like Guns with Wings has to. I feel like it'd be shocking to me if it didn't. And frankly, that kind of works as well because the one build that I do think is going to be absurdly powerful now is Stabomancer in combination with the new class mod, in combination with that necklace. Like, I think it's literally made for like a ranged status person, which should be sick. Yeah. I love how like the bat weapon or like the salt and something pepper, whatever it's something salt and batter, it's called. Is just like incredible. Like, it's melee did not need help in the damage perspective. Like, you can still nuke things from pretty close range. It's just now you're able to like annihilate things, but it's not the problem. The problem is that like a raid boss will like run a mile away from you, and you're like, well, I'm gonna spend 90% of the battle running after him, and that's the problem. Again, there's a lack of a person playtesting the game and being like, there's a problem here that feels really bad, and there's no real solution to it that I can see. Can we add something that helps bridge that gap? Because it's painful. It's not a players are going to be like, this is stupid, I'm not going to build it anymore, and you're leaving. Now, the problem with that is that you have two classes entirely dedicated to kind of melee amplification. So, yeah. Also, one thing I have not heard is people talk about the Stabomancer's, is it Stabo? No, it's a Clawbringer. Clawbringer had a buff to his or scaling to his fire smash, I think. Which is neat. Ooh, okay. We have Tidebreaker. Ooh, it's Primordial Least, but it's also 2 spells. That's actually quite good. I guess, yeah, holy shit. That's a first. Does that just do good base damage? Can I just like use this as like a... I guess that has quite a long cooldown, but still, not bad. We have an Old Spice thing, which is terrible. It's like one of the worst new legendary weapons, at least out to me. I'm sure someone could find out a weird way to make a glitch and do good, but for me, base-wise, put it on a gun build did nothing. Very bad. No. Yeah, has anyone gotten the new shield yet? Is it possible to attain the new shield? Fire a wave of knockback targets? No, it's the same thing. Dynamo. Rainbolt. Dynamite, no. I've never seen Dynamite in Primordial. It's times 2 though, at least. Lethal Catch. That Ghost something. Yeah, that's not new. Melee things. I've got tons of rings. Ooh, we got another one of these. Oh, we got 2 skills this time. Nice. Dark Magic, and Stabbo. It's well, last time it wasn't. It was Spore Ward, so it does look like you can get variability on these, which is nice. Stabbo is actually what I would probably want. In fact, that's actually the exact build that I was hoping to make with my one character. I was hoping to pivot him to Dark Magic so I could have a lot of healing, and yeah, just do like a lot of guns with wings, range damage hitting, which sounds fun. But yeah. We have a purple that we didn't mean to grab. We have one thing to take away out of 1,001. Pain. Pain. Something. Also, I appreciate you guys doing this with me, because otherwise I'd just be doing this by myself, and that sounds horrible. It sounds like an awful time. Is this thing yeah. This. Let me see. Oh, no, we got the necklace I want to keep too. I think that's everything. Perfect. And then back in out. Vulcanist says, No Man's Sky is a fun game to play, and it was my first survival game. Yeah, man, to me, I don't know, man. Like, that was one of those games which I heard people talk about, like, this game came back from the brink, baby. Love to see it. Which I think is awesome. But, to me, I don't know. To me, I'm really worried about the new Skyrim kind of thing. Starfield. I'm really worried about Starfield, because there's something to me about, like, I don't get it. I don't know why people are like, the coolest thing we can ever do is space, is the blandness of a space station that's always the same color palette, gray and maybe like blue, like navy blue, maybe red a little bit, or a planet that literally looks like one color, you know what I mean? With no depth, you know, but I guess with No Man's Sky, I think you can dig into the ground and stuff like that, so that's probably better. But I don't know. To me, like, that's why the fantasy world, there's things. There's stuff to see. There's reasons to go see them. You know what I mean? So, like, I don't know. To me, I really get distraught by, like, everyone's love for space. And I'm like, there's not, like, everyone's showcase of space is kind of, like, at least to me, a little bland. A little bit bland. Maybe I'm a McDouche. I don't know. Let's go here, this. Also, does the new armor look sick, though? It's weird. It looks like you're meant to be, like, a barbarian / like, wizard, which I kind of think peak. But yes, I definitely will have to make an update to the Krieg build, even though I think there's a better way to execute the Krieg build, but we won't be using Reaper of Bones, which will be a little bit bad, a little bit sad. It says, I watched some gameplay of Evil Dead and I liked it. It seemed like a great time with friends. Yeah, man, it seemed like to me, I guess I just like when I see a game that has like many ways to approach it, which it seems like that's definitely the game. Like, I've seen a lot of people have builds. Like, I've seen a weird build that in the Evil Dead game where people were essentially, there's like various Evil Dead bosses that you can play, or like killers, and one of them was like one that I kept hearing people say that was shitty, but I seen a build of it where basically the guy just made it so that he summoned a bunch of basic skeletons, and then he had like a flute guy where he planted the flute guy like far away, and that flute guy was buffing the shit out of them. Like, it was clearly something that like destabilized the class in terms of its power. And then the dude was just wrecking, and people were like, how are you doing so much damage and shit? And he just chunking through people, and it was just so cool to see that like approach, and also like that build. Like to me, that's an interesting idea, or you could have like a build in a PvP and actually have it be like something that you want to invest in, you want to grind through, and then you have a yield, whether like your brain being able to piece things together and how you can approach things, whether that being like setting a bunch of traps or doing all that other stuff. The one thing I would like to see more of, though, in that game is I would like to see a deeper skill tree. Like, I would like to see investment rather than like at the end you are close to the midway point given your efficiency. I've seen people who are like playing for 10 minutes get to like the very end of their upgrade skill tree points, kind of. If you don't know the game, it's hard to explain, but yeah, it just seems like a little off. Whereas I feel like it'd be better if like you had to invest in like traps, and you'd have to like use the shit out of traps. But there're also like huge bonuses to investing that deep. I think that'd be cool to see in an update. But yeah. What's good, Mekaro Gaming? Mekaro says, did you have an issue with the characters being reset eventually? What do you mean? I don't think so. I don't know what that, I would assume no, because that doesn't make sense to me, or it doesn't click in my head. So yeah, I would assume no. Let's get closer to this thing so we're not accidentally picking up the legendaries. Faceless says, hope no more reskin weapons for season weapons in Let It Die. Yeah, well, at least now we have a helmet, so something like that, a helmet. Also, it does seem like a lot of the new. Well, I'm kind of curious about like what the actual thing that's going on with Deathverse is, because it sounds like. It kind of sounds like the guys who like the lead developers and stuff broke off and made a different version of Deathverse. I just don't know what the mechanics look like that behind. So like it's hard to explain. Like I don't know if like are they having complete freedom? Like are they detached? So if they succeed with this new like kind of arena shooter Deathverse kind of thing, do they have a lot to gain? Are they going to be able to like take the income and invest it back into the game if they happen to pop off? I don't know, because they're no longer Grasshopper Manufacturer who's making the game. It's also not Gung Ho, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe Gung Ho as like a publisher, but I think it's mainly their new studio called Super Trick Games. So I'm just curious about how that looks, and because that to me would be a good hint of like, is there hope of this game having like consistent support after its launch? What kind of bars does it need to hit in order for us to continuously get content, or is it gonna like be a niche game and that's not gonna be enough and they're gonna have to put it down kind of thing, you know? Although I still think Let It Die was like making good money for what it was, and especially with the amount of content that existed within it. Oh, but what I was saying, Faces, I think like there's already like the machete is clearly in the game, but it seems like they've like made it so that it's more sleek. So I think there's gonna be weapons that are similar, but I think they're gonna have the idea of an evolution to the future kind of thing. Like it's been I think 100 years since Let It Die, so I think that's what that is. Alexander says, how hard is it to say jammer? Pretty hard for me, man, because I have no idea I've never heard the word jammer in my whole life, so I have no way to compare it to. So I have never heard the word jammer. So if it was James, I'd be like, got it, James. I've heard James all my life, you know, but I've never heard jammer beforehand. Luke says, I'm Duke. Okay, Duke. We'll see if I remember that, Luke. But why wouldn't you name Duke? Why wouldn't you name it Duke instead you named it Luke? Or Luke Dizone, whatever that is. Ryan says, what's the new shield call? I don't know what it's called, man. I've been thinking the same thing. I need to find like a spreadsheet or not spreadsheet, just like a list, because I keep trying to find it within my vault. Because I just get them and I throw them in there, and I'm like, what are these called again? Or like what's also they need to do a better job about like sorting things, so you can sort it through type and through I wish they could just sort it through recent, like whatever you recently chucked in there, please. Because instead you're like manufacturer and you're like, okay, what was that manufacturing? Like it just seems like it's hard to find shit. Also, what's good, Red? What's good, buddy? How you doing? Valkanus says, not every game is going to be for it. Yeah, it's true. No, I understand that too. To me, it's just I feel like there's a consideration for what I think people would most enjoy, you know, like, or not most enjoy. I think, how do I put it? That's the wrong way to put it entirely. I would hope that people would consider what like the like when you put something into a world, when you put something into your environment, your community, I think you should have an understanding based on, especially like in a game like Wonderlands, where they've had a ton of time to understand what their community deeply likes, craves, and I think wants. But I also think that each development team is on, like, it's hard to do development. So I think they're in like a room and they're just developing their game and they're trying to make it good. And then all of the lessons that the community perceives as should have been learned are not learned because they're made by an entirely different studio slash subgenre of the community or like development team. So I feel like there's this feeling of it should be doing that, but it's not, you know. Jammer says, you okay? It's funny. Keep saying it to how you was glad to be a part. Yeah, thank you, Jammer. Jammer. Yeah, to me, it's one of those things where I've always had. To be honest, it's one of those weird things where actually I have like a little bit of like a. I don't know. It's I guess there's this thing. It's like for me, my value as what I perceive as a value for me. It's kind of getting a little too real, frankly. But I would never. Like, my friends have always called me dude or like bud or like friend or something or my guy, you know. It's like to me I don't value my name at all. Like my real name is Logan. but I would never expect anybody to say it. Or yeah, like to me, I don't have any value tied to my name, so I don't have that value perceived for others. Although I know other people really do. Like, this is my name. This is what you should call me. This, I don't have that. So like, sometimes people will come into my chat, not you guys. It's happened in the past, especially when we were playing Let It Die, where people would be like super offended or like frustrated with me. And it's also, just to be completely honest, I have like a weird thing within my head. People who've been watching me for a long time know, like Fluff and etc., and like Lone Cynic, I'm sure, Red maybe, Faceless, etc. Everyone who's been here for like a good bit of time, like a really long time. I have a hard time with my brain reading things. Like I basically have like, I barely, maybe it's dyslexia. People always, I think, use it as an out, but I genuinely think like the way I describe me being able to read is just not that same way. Also, I did a bunch of things when I was in school, and they used to always say I have a learning disability, which I think is kind of sad now that I think back on it. It seems like that's like kind of fuck you a little bit. But yeah, it's simply put, it's just something that I feel like people have always had a strong response to, and I have always been like, why? Like the content of your character is not that. You know, I could care less if somebody remembered me as a name. I want them to remember who I was as a person. If I was kind, if I was a good friend, if I was loyal, if I was, you know, if I cared. You know, those are the things that I think define your character. I don't care about your anything, frankly, besides those kinds of things, I guess. But also, that's maybe not the best way to look at the world, because you have to judge people by their ideals, not your own. But also, you're not a slave to their ideals either. That's something I think I see a lot of content creators kind of get eaten up by, like people's criticism is no one's entitled to have you operate under the way that they wish you to operate. You know what I mean? You have to live by your own ideals and values, not others, you know? Anyway, sorry to get a little random. I just, whenever we're streaming, I like to talk through things. I get a little more clarity for myself, but yeah. What's good, Riley? Riley says, how you doing? How you going, bro? How's it going, bro? How you going, Riley? Oh, sorry, Ricky. I see Riley. Ricky, I caught myself there. Ricky, how is it? Sorry, Ricky. How are you, buddy? How has your night been? How has your day been? Your day is probably far more interesting than mine. We're farming for some gear. We have found 3, I think. So, pain. And we've been spending thousands of souls each run. Little bit of pain and suffering, you know? Also, do you look Venom? Golly, Venom was good, Venom. Venom, I'll say it. I loved your movie. Even the first one, I thought was great. I pulled something in my neck. I'm also the person that can enjoy a movie and just shut off my brain, but I thought Venom was fun. I haven't seen the second one, though. I love the first one. Yeah. Was it better? Because a lot of people were like, now it'll be good. And I'm like, the movie made like a ton of money, but that also just might be because people love Venom. I think it's synonymous. I've not met one person who doesn't love Venom who doesn't equally love Spawn as a character. I think I put Spawn above Venom for me. Spawn's fucking a badass, all right? I think Spawn is better than Blade, okay? Faceless says, hope no OP Kamas guns ruled in Let It Die. My favorite were the medieval weapons, but anything to run into guns, you get shot, you get one shot. Yeah, man, Face, I'm the same with you, man. That was the one thing that, like, that was the biggest reason why I was so mad with, I was thinking about this the other day, actually. This is the reason why I was so mad about, like, the Kamas, and I look around the community at the time. I remember being kind of like, what the hell? Like, nobody was talking about this. Like, that there seemed like a huge imbalance from what the game was built on. Like, there's a ton of melee weapons. Tons of melee weapons. And there's like 3 or 4 ranged. Like, super not ranged. And if they are, they have a very open, like a big gap in execution. Like, obvious. And then I just noticed that nobody mentioned how crazy that was. The Kamas's, like, ability to hit ranged and kill you dead. And like, my frustration was that I always loved melee and Let It Die. So I got really, like, this is why I was so frustrated, is I really liked the idea that I had, like, built up a memory base of all these move sets that I knew exactly how to get through. And the fact that so many people were just like, yeah, no. And, like, you had to do less and you got so much, you know? Like, it'd be one thing if it just did less damage, but you could still like destroy people really easily. But there was no way to, like, obviously counter it with a melee weapon besides, like, it would be one thing if they had a lot of drag, so you could, like, just sprint to the right and there'd be an obvious dodge, push in, hit, you know, something. But that was never the case. So to me, it pissed me off that, like, this was something that you have so many melee guns and they are more or less rendered pretty obsolete. But then people always fire back at me, which also pissed me off. I tried not to let it show, but it made me mad when people were like, no, this gun's fine. Like, you just do it this way. And I'm like, why does every person have a Kamas up topside then? Like, it's clearly, like, regardless of how you're able to handle it, there's still a huge problem here, you know? And maybe it's because people are more patient than me and they're like getting a person to come around a corner for Let It Die, but yeah. Oh, also, I didn't drop my gear before I pick up stuff. That way we're not scattered. O'Reilly says, random, super random, but I'm playing Wonderlands right now, and the boss just dropped 4 of the same legendary shield, and 2 of the different shields super. Yeah, man, there's some weird stuff that happens in this game. Sometimes you'll consistently see the same weapon over and over again, and then you'll see like no legendary. That all kind of changes when you get into the chaos chambers. That kind of like rebalances things. You can just kind of force things to break for you, but yeah. But no, that sounds a little weird. I never got 3 or 4. I usually got I got 2 usually. But yes, where is this? And then this. I don't even know why I want to pick that up. It's not what we want, but sure. This. Ooh, we got a new class mod. I did see that. Oh, so some of you guys might be saying, Grin, why aren't you picking up the cosmetics? There's a save file out there right now, currently, that has all of them there, so I will not need to farm them indefinitely, which sounds pretty great. I keep getting Tidebreaker, dude. Ooh, but we got Bonk. Ooh, and it's volatile. It's poison a little bit, but it does have Vampire on it, which is actually pretty bad, because a lot of the melee shields are actually wanting you to be without a shield. So, yeah, that will give you a little bit of shield, which every single time you hit, which is shitty. Vulcanus says, just to make my name easier, you could call me CQ. I could. Now I'm saying Vulcanus. I'm sure I'm not saying it right, but I feel like I gotta say it now. You know what I mean? Also, it's kind of iconic. Vulcanus sounds like you're a fucking Sith Lord or something, you know? So I feel like I might forget it, but I'll rediscover it, and it'll be a process, baby. But I hope I can see more of Vulcanus. You've been nothing but lovely. Fluff says, I had a similar occasion this week, featured run. You got a lot of legendaries dropped for you? Like they're dropping in a sequence? Weird. Maybe that's a weird coding thing, because I know there's supposed to be a lot more like class mods dropping, apparently. So that could be something that's getting weird, like a higher percentage of that conflicting in a way. Berserker and Spell Shot. No. But maybe. No. Is that double knot? No, that's not. Tiebreaker. No. What's this? Cube. Where did I have that? I just picked that up. Dynamo and Dynamo. I have never seen Dynamo in ×2 or anything like that. So, pain. Anyways. Also, I really hate channel and cast. Like, I feel like if you're gonna do channel and cast, you need to make it so that, like, you literally unleash, like, a barrage of meteors that happen for, like, 3 minutes. You know, something. Otherwise, it feels like the juice ain't worth the squeeze. Tidebreaker again. We got another Tidebreaker. This looks like we got nothing but one class mod, boys. Woof. Is it? Oh, we got bonk. No, we got batter. I keep saying bonk. It's just because that's like the only good bonk weapon in the game that's actually melee. There's like a frying pan or something, but get away from me. It's not. It's nothing. Let's reset again. Ba, 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 ba. Also, dude, there was so much Saints Row gameplay, by the way, boys. I just seen that this week. Yeah, they're like, apparently they had like a press conference with like 15 minutes of gameplay. It looks awesome. Can't wait to watch it with you guys tomorrow on Saturday's Share Your Grin or Hangout stream, whatever it is on Twitch. But yeah, man, the game looks. People been saying it's like surprising actually. Like I think people are so starved for a video game right now that like even people who are kind of like Saints Row haters are like, it looks kind of fun. Like the customization looks kind of fun. Like, which to me, I that was always the thing. But maybe that's what like Saints Row knows, like the Volition. Maybe Volition knows that like a lot of people for whatever reason have, like whenever you say I like Saints Row, people say GTA's better, and you're like, what? I didn't even bring that up. Like, what? To where maybe they're like, no. One of the things that GTA don't really come close to us is the customization of like bone structure of all. That was always the thing that blew my mind. GTA is like freakish, like they gave you two parents and you had to like mind meld your face based on these two people. And it was just like the hardest thing to make not look horrific, you know? So yeah, the one thing I will say that I think GTA has a little bit that's pretty cool is like they have like a damage system, like where like, but also it looks kind of weird. Like sometimes you'll jump out of a car on online mode and you'll like have a giant gash on your arm and you'll just be sitting there, or you'll have like bruises all over your face, and you're like, God, Jesus, hey Tom, ready to go rob a bank? Golly, you're not the shape. Let's go over here again. Ricky says, Zomboss dropped 8 of the same shield. That's freakish. Yeah, I've never gotten that. That seems crazy. That seems like. Do you have like a bunch of shield like enchantments that give you loot luck? Because maybe then, but even then, I don't know how that would play. You gotta go buy a lottery ticket. Jeez Louise. Oh, Vasquez, you took away your message as I was reading it. God damn it. Faceless says, it was funny. My favorite part is in the end. What was? What was? Oh, you mean the like the end of Venom? O'Reilly says, what's the best way to get salt and battery? The best way for me that I would suggest, man, I would say to go do any of these you want. Well, it depends. Are you on console? Because if you're on console, there's 2 ways I would suggest. You need to get it through the weapon wheel, because I think it's like I don't think salt and battery is. Maybe salt and battery is dropping. Regardless, I farmed this like 3, 4 times, 5 times actually at this point. I've never got the last boss to drop anything. I don't know why. She's just not dropping legendaries at all. Maybe they'll update that, fix that, but it's not happening. For me at least. When you go through portals, you get stuff, but not through the boss. But I found way more luck doing this. So if you're on PC, what I would suggest is basically getting like farming up a bunch of souls like we're doing, and then wishing on the wheel a bunch. I do think there's a way for PC to kind of like save your save file and then delete it and then run it back somehow. But an easier way, Ryan, if you stick around in our community long enough, I'll probably find a decent version of it. And on Sunday streams on Twitch, we always we always drop save files, for people. So all you would need to do on Sunday is add me as a friend. I would load into your game, and then I would drop the bunch of melee gear. It wouldn't just be that. It would be like whatever melee build we have that week, that month, week, however long it takes for me to create it. But otherwise, it's the Wheel of Fate. That's the way you would get it. But yeah, that's the way we're doing it currently, just to try to get a bunch of drop chances, because this drops all of the new gear, and we don't have access to farm the specific things. And I don't even know if it would be worth it, because I've tried doing that and I haven't found one of the new spells in there. So shitty, but yeah. But yes, I was gonna say something that was relevant to just what we were talking about just then. I don't know. Jammer says, try and play add me. What do you mean, Jammer? What do you mean? Are you talking about everyone else? Because we're rolling right now. We're rolling. Vulcanus says, my favorite spell is the Calamity. Yeah, man, the Calamity. I wish we had a better one. But that's the thing that's crazy about the Calamity, man. Calamity is still dunking on things, even at Chaos level 35, and it's chaotic. It's not even volatile or primordial. Imagine if you got a primordial that was ×2 with cooldowns. Whew. That'd be crazy. Also, dogs popping off, sorry. Faces says, by the way, Yelane and Xiao are coming in the next banner. Itto and Ninja Girl is coming too. Oh yeah, so yeah, Itto's coming back. Yeah, no, I seen that stuff, man. Yeah, because isn't like Itto back because of story implications? Yeah. Yeah, no, man, that looks awesome. To me, I didn't check it out too much. I know that I'm not sure if there's a Genshin like live stream. We might throw that up on tomorrow's streams too, just to have something in the background. I'm so sorry the dogs are popping off so much. But yeah. O'Reilly says, yeah, it was Zomboss that dropped all those shields for really. Maybe Zomboss is broken. Maybe that's the case, huh? Although maybe that would be cool too. Like if there was like a specific boss that you could farm that could have a high probability of dropping shields. That way, if you wanted to take a break from doing Chaos Chambers, there'd be a reason or a value to do not just Chaos Chambers. Because right now the deck is super stacked towards doing Chaos Chambers if you want to get gear. You know. Granted, I don't know if you're able to. I think this is the way to get all of the legendaries that are new. And even still, I think this might actually be more efficient just to get the new legendary specifically from this, just because you can kind of run your save back, which doing Chaos Chambers you can't do that. You'll like save quit out, you just die. You lose all your currency, which this is a way you can kind of keep your currency and keep rolling essentially. Also, I need to drink my coffee, or else it's gonna be too late to do that. Oh, that's disgusting. Valkanus says, I'm starting my latest playthrough of Clawbringer, and I think of trying a wacky second class like spell shot. Any thoughts? I want to try something out of the norm. Interesting. Let me think for a bit. Well, first of all, I think Clawbringer and spell shot would just work because spell shot's kind of excessive in general. But yeah, no, I think that would work immensely, because you just basically, what Clawbringer does on a passive is does a lot of like support slash like elemental aura is already really good. You know, you got critical chance built in. You also have like your bird also is pretty deadly. So you also get access to an amazing like action skill where you can chuck your hammer and like wreck. Yeah, should work quite. Yeah, I was about to say, I think that should, to me, what would be like truly heinous as a build would be something like Berserker and like Spore Warden to some extent, which can kind of work, but I feel like it's still a little messy. Like I think Cryo Infusion could work in that way. I just don't know how they benefit each other. With that being said, though, Berserker also has a capstone that I think resets your cooldown on your action skill. Or is it Clawbringer? No, Clawbringer has something else, right? What is? No, that's right. Yeah. Berserker has the endless action skill, which to me, if you have Spore Warden and Berserker, you have the Tornado. So I think if you had if you kept getting kills, even with pixies, that would mean your Tornado keeps popping off and keeps applying an AoE effect. Now, whether that cryo damage, well, that's the thing, man. Like, they really need to do a lot of work, in my opinion, to like scaling up action skills, because a lot of the action skills are not scaling at all. Like, someone came into our chat, I'm so sorry I can't remember the name, but or who it was, but someone was saying that they were testing out the what was it? It was the they're trying to make a Spore Warden crossbow like arrow build, or barrage build, sorry. But none of this stuff was scaling. So like they had a bunch of on action skill start, ability damage, on action skill start, elemental damage, like that one worked, I think, but yeah, none of the like ability amping stuff, like on spellcast get ability damage or whatever it could be, none of that was scaling, which is weird. So, or at least it wasn't scaling with Barrage. It could have been scaling with other action skills, but not with Barrage, and you're kind of like, well, what the fuck, you know? Ricky says, can you save and quit on console that keeps your souls? The problem with that a little bit, Ricky, is because you need to basically save. See how it says auto saving on the top of the corner? Like, so if I hit this, eventually it will say auto saving a bunch. So you don't want, when it says auto save, unless you can turn off auto save. Yeah, see, every time I pull this, it auto saves. So the only way that you're able to do is if you're able to literally go back to an old save, aka play a new save. But if there's a way to turn off auto saving, and you can like, the thing is though, you also need to put something in your vault, and I have a feeling that as soon as you put something in your vault, the game will save by itself without you doing anything. Now what you could do is guarantee your investment, so you could make sure you wish a bunch and then look at all your loot, and then if you have a lot of loot, because it doesn't take that long to get 10,000 or 1,000 souls. It takes like maybe 6-7 runs, which is not nothing, but it's, if you run through it, it's pretty okay. I think if you also have friends, you can get even more souls. So you have a 4-stack a team, you can get a lot of souls just generally. But yes, unfortunately, that's the weird hindrance right now, which I think is unlucky. But also, I think Sunday exists. That's why Sunday streams exist almost. At least the way we have it formatted is just so that people who are on console who can't do stuff like this can still have be part of the community. Vulcanus says, one of my characters is Spore Warden and Berserker. The Frost Tornado action skill actually works pretty well. Does it? Okay, that's the thing I wanted to try, man. I want to see if I can make that swirl actually do damage. I just don't know. I guess maybe like Pixies is the only thing I think could maybe like sequence essentially in a fun way. But I'm not sure if it's as good as anything else. You know, that's kind of where I feel frustrated by. It seems like there's a lot of stuff that, well, I guess not. They're, like, again, the thing that, like, you do more damage to enemies that are affected by cold is just good. Yeah, I feel like that might work. In fact, I like, to me, we have our build, like our Spore Warden update, kind of ready to go, but it's still not. It still doesn't feel like I have like, I don't like making an update build. Almost feels like cheating, you know. Like, I want to make a build that actually is like a different, funner way of experiencing something. So to me, I'm more interested in making that, like this tornado hunting, like ravenous kind of idea. But I don't know exactly how that'll look, you know, or how that'll play. But that sounds fun. But yeah, like I think tornado. Like, to me, the question is like, well, would you just use another skill rather than tornado? Like barrage. Barrage is kind of stacked, you know. I guess I could give people options. You could use either or. But I would like to go down Berserker. But also, if you want to go down Spell Shot, like the reason why you want to have like good damage, you usually go down Spell Shot. You have pixies that'll just take care of you, and then you can have fun with whatever you want. You know, that'll do enough, and then you can like invest in whatever you'd like. But I don't know. Yeah, to me, that would have to separate that and that. In fact, maybe the better outcome in general is just going Pixies and Berserker, because you're just getting that cryo amplification, and that's always been nuts, you know? Luke says you can upload your save in the cloud. Oh, is that right? Okay, so Luke is saying that. Okay, so maybe you can do that. You can upload your save to the cloud, but how do you delete your old save? Oh, right, you just go to your character and delete it. Okay, so you upload your save to the cloud, and then you delete your current character, and then you download your save back into the base game, and then you run it again. I wish I could make a video for you guys on that, but I just don't have Borderlands or Wonderlands on any other game platform. That'd be interesting. That'd be a nice thing to show people. Unfortunately, I'm not in the place where I can do that. Lone Syndicate says, Yelane looks so good. Kuki? I don't know why they made a ninja girl a healer, but they did. And the bright side, I can finally use Mona Electro Team. Yeah, man, that's that's like the story of, to me, Genshin a little bit, of like, there's so many characters. I think, is her name Kiki, the electro healer person, like the cool ninja girl with like the face mask? She is probably like up there for like Yoimiya. Like, I just love her aesthetic. Her design looks so fucking cool. Also, she looks very reminiscent of like a Yoimiya, so kind of on the nose. But I really like her design a lot. Also, she has like the dark purples going. Her just design looks sick. But yeah, she's like, I don't know where she would slot in. And also, again, I don't think they've given us a lot of hope for like 4 stars that aren't doing a specific type of thing. You know, like we haven't got another Shao in terms of 4 stars. We've had like characters that are specific to builds, which makes sense why they kind of changed, so that there's like, hey, if you have this character, it's almost a given that you have to wish on this banner that has this 4-star, you know. But yeah. Oh, we got the thing. Oh, that's not bad at all. Why does it sometimes? Yeah. Why does it sometimes not drop with a fucking effect? You douche. Anyways, we got salt and battery, volatile baby. Not great, no, not perfect, but still good. We also got, yeah, if only, I have another one of these that is, I think, exactly this, except maybe chaotic. No, actually, I don't even think it's volatile. That's pretty huge then. But if you could get one that has caustic, because you can get another, you can get like a god roll with a trait, dude, huge. We'll keep that. We'll keep that one. Also, is this worth keeping? No. Well, maybe. If I find one that has like multiple charges and like ×2, maybe, but otherwise, nah. Tidebreaker, trash, and a ring that's also trash. I kind of have given up on rings. To me, that's the one thing where I can't. It's just too much. It's like, I gotta look at the gun damage. It's like, it's insane to me that that's the thing, right? Like, you have to look at gun damage, or what, like, the damage amp that you're getting. Then you gotta hope it's a high rarity. Then you gotta hope that the passive stats that are, like, the grayed out ones are decent. And then you gotta go to the very bottom one and hope that that's affecting what you will encounter eventually. And it's just like, I can't. I can't. This is where I 100% will allow some sort of god roll item that is like probably modded or whatever, like perfectly, not modded, but Gibbs save edited. Because I know some people can do that. Yeah. Then I'll just be like, yeah, I'll take it. I can't. It's too much. It's too much. It's funny because I want variability, but not from my fucking ring amp. Okay, that sounds horrible. Like if it did something cool, like the necklace that like can summon bolts, that's kind of dope. But it also doesn't give it like if the bolts could be randomly fire, if they could do AOE on impact instead of ricochet, if there was a bunch of different variability to getting this effect, I'd get it 100%. But nothing. Also, man, that was a bad run. That was pain. We had one ring. Why did I mark this? Why? Weird. We have a ring over here too that I marked. Why did I mark these? Yeah, we want to keep bonk and we want to not keep tied. Why did I mark that as well? What the hell's wrong with me? We want to keep bonk. Bonk stick. I still have not seen a dark magic. I think dark magic will be the best version of that. I keep saying bonk. It's the salt fucking melee weapon. But I think that's gonna be the best version because that will be good on any character because it's gonna basically be like a heal stick, like a heal bonk, a bonk heal. But yeah, let's back out again. We're making great headway, guys. Got a couple good items. I still haven't got the fucking item that Fluff's got. The one that's it's like a roid spell, which seems awesome. Also for my melee build, I'm like, give me, please, let me test. I want to see if it's worth a damn. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba. Luke says, example, if I had a primary, a primordial spell, uploaded my save, put the spell in my bank, and then take the upload save, I got the spell in the save and the bank one. Okay, yeah. But as far as like making, yeah, could you like make a save, upload it to the cloud, that with you having like 10,000 souls, go into the game, spend all of your souls, take the souls that are good, or sorry, take the items that you got from your souls expenditure and then put them in your vault, back out of the game, delete that character, re-download it from the cloud into your console, and then you'll have the items in your bank and the full went in time pass save that had all the souls that you could spend on the wheel. Would that work? It seems like it would work. It seems like it's the same idea, except it's just you. Yeah, it's instead of just you pocketing an item, it's you're just running back. You're just pocketing the items you get from the wheel and then going back to a save that has all the income. Also, Duke's first language is not English, so I understand if it takes a little bit of time for it to get back to me. Do this. Oh man, to me, I want it, like we just talked about Genshin, and a part of me is like, I would like to get back and play it a little bit because I do miss having a game that is kind of my podcast game where I can like play it in the background and kind of like just listen to it and like hang out until I like I'm done listening to the podcast and I feel kind of content. I feel like I need to turn Wonderlands into this game or that game, but I always feel like I get into like a thought. Also, what is that? What is that little house? there's a lot of little houses, but I always feel like I get caught in that like there's a puzzle solver, solution driven kind of mindset in this game as well, where like you're looking at a bunch of things and you're like, okay, this can work. Maybe this can sequence. Maybe this is worth a damn. Okay, maybe this is a way I can make this good. And you're just sitting there like panic, freak out. But yeah. You don't need to delete, but yes, that works. But wouldn't you? Oh, really? Okay, because for me, in like I can't like re-download a save file that's new. I have to delete my current save file and then upload a new one, or else the game thinks I'm like playing. There's like duplicate save files. It's weird. Vulcanist says, whenever I call back the Clawbringer's hammer, I'm gonna say Mjolnir to me, like yeah. Man, well, that's the thing. To me, like, it's funny because if you look at like Wonderlands, there's so much of this game that is like intrinsically built on like the fact that like there's been so many of these other ideas, like Captain America, Athena shield. You know, like these have always existed within these games. So they're just kind of like playfully like doing like what's it called? redux or redo or like a remix of like old type of class mods and stuff, which was very apparent in Battleborn. In fact, there's a lot of assets that you can see in this game that have Battleborn in it. But yeah, like, man, the one thing that sets me off the most about the legendary conundrum hell that is like this game, where I feel like the legendaries are just kind of, again, like, there's a SMG Furior that exists within the game that's a callback to a Rennie, which is a character in Battleborn. It's their previous a MOBA-like game that Gearbox made. And it was incredibly fun. It was also one of the most like glass cannony characters in the entire Battleborn. This character could just walk up to you, cast a bunch of portals on the ground, and then just nuke you by like these pillars of hair and black magic. It's weird. Like a grudge a little bit. And anyways, that same like weird cast is what a Rennie basically summoned, that pillar. But the legendary reason why I say this is a good example of like the legendaries being neutered is that can only exist in that specific form. So you can only ever throw this SMG and there's this pillar of damage that shoots out of the ground, and that's all you can ever have. There's never like you can summon a pixie or a guns with wings would be perfect. A guns with wings SMG that sits there and shoots enemies, and then eventually would dive bomb, and then you just see this pillar of like chaos just fire off out of an enemy or off to the side. Like, to me, that would be so fucking cool. Like, you just summon a bunch of these pixies, especially now that we have 9, and they all detonate at once, and you see all these pillars just jetting out of the walls in all of these different areas. But there's nothing like that in the game. And to me, like, same thing with Dagger Storm. Like, imagine you double down, you throw Dagger Storm, there's like this crazy spinning tornado, as well as this fucking torpedo that launches into the air of like dark magic shit. Wicked, you know? Unfortunately, no dice. Luke says, it overwrites the old save file, thanks. Oh, I see. Okay, nice. Okay, yeah. For me, I always feel like it doesn't do that. Interesting. Okay, so for console, it has that built-in automation. All right. You over in console, people killing it. Having that luckiness. I guess that's not bad. I just have to delete a save file. So it's actually probably way easier to achieve the same end. But, yes. I should finish my coffee. Also, Fluff, if you're still here, buddy, how is your thing happening? Day what is it? 17, 18? Are you more confident that it has passed your kidney stone? Ooh. I'm curious. Because, yeah, man, I can't. Every time I think about it, I'm like, oh, fuck. What a nightmare. Vulcanus says, one thing I'm glad Gearbox did this time around was giving PlayStation players... Dude, I love... Like, that to me is something that I'm so happy to be seeing everywhere now. And it's funny, because I thought the game that was going to kick this off was the Left 4 Dead devs creation, whatever it's called, Back 4 Blood, is that right? That was the thing. I remember us talking about that like around E3 when we were watching gameplay of it, and we were talking about how like there's going to be a day where like crossplay exists, and it's just going to be so nice. And I hope it's going to be one of those things where like you can't put the genie back in the bottle because people are normalized it now. And I've seen the Evil Dead game have crossplay. I've seen this game have crossplay. I've seen so many games have crossplay, and to me it's so nice because like you can have a community that can hang out with everybody. It's just crazy that it took so long to do, you know. Also, you got to give people credit when they kick some ass. I think Fortnite was one of the bigger companies that actually like made PlayStation and be like, no asshole, this is totally a thing that can happen, and then they pushed forward and made it happen. You know, I think they like turned it on accidentally, and people were like, why the fuck is this not permanent? And Sony was like, because we're cunts, just douchers. Nah, Sony's in the lead, and maybe in another parallel universe, Xbox would have done the same thing. But yeah. Also, man, do you think that's finally happening? Where like, you know how we had the like golden age in some ways of like Netflix, where like, hey, you just pay for this one service and you get a bunch of TV shows. Granted, now it's like, no, you pay for this service and you still get, it's like there's a lot of cool shows out there. It's just like turning into the same thing as TV, except now we actually have better things with less ads, thank God. But I was gonna say, with in regards to like everyone hates the fact that now you have to buy like 5 different other streaming services when that kind of like cannibalized the whole point of streaming services. But do you think that Xbox is gonna do the same thing, or like Xbox is gonna enable the same thing, where like it's gonna be, because I think Xbox is like their whole like $10 a week or whatever it is, gets you like a year of games or whatever month thing, paid as a service kind of gaming model. Do you think that's going to happen again? Where it's just going to be like, hey, now, because I've already seen that happening. I think Ubisoft has their like Ubisoft Play or whatever it's called, where you download, you spend $10, you get a bunch of past games. Except to me, like at least Xbox is like, hey, all of our games that are new are going to be in the new streaming service. So I'm like, okay, that's pretty huge. That's a huge bit of value. They also bought a fuck ton of developers, so I'm like, yeah. That's awesome. Like just to see them have that consistency and have like them to be able to keep churning out games. Granted, they have enough time to produce them. But to me, the one thing that like leaves me with this kind of like, oh god, is like the fact that like I think PlayStation just released their like super like what is it called? It's like basically you pay $10 a week and you get a bunch of games. Except they're all kind of old. And to me, that's like, it's like the developers wanting to have their cake and eat it too. And Xbox was smart enough to realize, no, we kind of have to take some L on this. Because to me, like, it seems like they want the residuals of like paid as a service, like the idea that you're going to buy into like that's the whole reason why paid as a service kind of things work, is because you forget about the fact that you're paying $10 a month and that's $100 a year where otherwise you wouldn't necessarily spend that. But because that's so residual, they're constantly chipping away. And to me, I don't know. I feel like everyone's going down that same path, except people are not willing to take the L of like saying, hey, you're going to be able to get the next Assassin's Creed for $10 every month or something like that. I'm not sure if like no one has deep pockets like Microsoft, essentially, where they can take all of the L's and still have a bazillion dollars because they're like the grandfather of PCs or something, you know? But yeah. But I don't know, I really like the idea. Again, I'm hoping that, like, again, to me, it's like one of those things where people are like, Netflix is such a good deal. I love Netflix. Like, back in the day when you're like, yeah, this is totally worth. And now they're, like, bit by bit increasing the pricing of Netflix. And they'll keep making shows that, to me, I find not interesting, you know, at least to me. It's like the whole plot radius of the show, which I'm all for people being able to have cool stories and have various different people in the stories. But to me, it seems like the whole point of the story is there's one point, and it seems like it's to me, I'm like, I'm the guy who grew up with Harry Potter, baby. Show me some fucking magic, okay? Show me some explosions. And it's a lot of like, let's hang out and talk about our feelings. And I'm like, that's fine, but it's kind of a lot. It's everywhere, and it's not very interesting to me. So for me, I feel like the content is not there for me, you know? But yes, little tangent. But I don't know, man. To me, yeah, I hope games don't go in that area where like right now I find I'm in like, I really like Xbox's plays right now, but I feel like eventually it's like, I used to think the same thing about Netflix, and it looks like Netflix is getting more like, we're gonna keep increasing our prices, and it's like, but you're making content that it's like, at least for objectively, kind of not as much, like, you know, not as like, people aren't as engaged with it, I suppose. And then like the weird person who's kicking some ass is apparently like Disney. Disney's like throwing down. Like a lot of people are loving Disney, you know, Mandalorian, all of these things. Also, update for Fluff says, unfortunately, the pain has returned today. No, Fluff. We were supposed to be out of it. And by we, I mean you. But I wanted you to be okay. It sucks, man. I hope it bounces back. It leads me to wonder if it's other things then, because it's like, maybe it just takes, have you Googled it, Fluff, and seen how long it takes to generally pass a kidney stone on the long end and the small end? Because maybe, I don't know, part of me thinks like, I hope it's that, you know, I hope it's not some sort of like misdiagnosis of maybe like a type of thing. Oh, I told you guys about this, never mind. Yeah, I think I told you guys about this. Dude, my feet swelled up so bad the other day, which has never happened to me in all of my life. My feet swelled so much. Not my feet, my like calf and my foot. But like I could push my like, you know, you got like a bone right in the front of your leg, like right above your heel. You're like this bit right here. It's like a bone. It's like a real close to the skin. That was all so goddamn swollen that when I pushed down, it made like a permanent cavity, like huge. It was horrible. I have never had it happen to me. But also I stood for like probably like 15 hours in one spot for like a whole 3 days or something. So not great, but yeah. Also, Vulcanus says, Vulcan says, one thing I'm glad Gearbox did this time around was give crossplay, but you also say Outriders has crossplay, No Man's Sky has crossplay, Destiny 2 has crossplay, etc, etc, etc. Yes. Also, what's good? Robot says, man, Gearbox sucks for charging for this DLC. I mean, yeah, man, I feel like that's a sentiment for the entirety of the community, frankly. I don't know many people who are like, this is exactly what I wanted, you know? But with that being said, though, again, to me, I kind of think, I don't know if Gearbox really anticipated this game being so successful, but, like, it's kind of unarguable that this is, like, unobjectively less. Like, we basically spent the same, little bit less, like maybe $10 less, right? Well, it depends, I think, on what you what your currency is, but maybe like $15 less than what we paid for the Borderlands 3 DLC, and that had like side quests, that had a bunch of new areas. This has like 2 new areas and like a couple new legendaries, and like no reasons to do any of it really. Especially like to me, I was a little hopeful when I heard that like it seemed like they were limiting so like every week you could have some new legendaries that were exciting. But now it's like, no, you can still get all the legendaries day one. It's just going to be a little more complicated, you know? A little bit complicated, but then it's done. But to me, I'm kind of like, okay, well, in a couple of days, I'm going to have nothing to look forward to again. So, you know, pain. And I like people who make builds, they'll be kind of okay, I think. But it's the people who are like, I don't like making builds. I want to like grind and have fun and like get items and get the perfect gear and stuff like that. But those people are left hungry. It's gonna be 97 degrees tomorrow. That sounds hellish, Valkanus. Jeez Louise. Scott says, do you know if we have to buy the new class when it comes out? No. If you have the season pass, if you have the season pass, I do think you have to buy it. Yeah. So it's either season pass or probably be standalone, but I think so. But yes, I do believe it's if you have the season pass, you'll be able to buy it. It comes with that. If you're able to have this Wheel of Fortune things, you'll be able to have it. Not free of charge, but you know what I'm saying. Yes. All right. Well, this is at least something. Fire damage, eh? It seems like it's always one extra projectile, and ×4. Oh, my heart, my chest. I wonder if you can get a ×3. That'd be perfect, right? Because then you just stack double on per thing. I guess it does only fire 1 extra bolt for 3 being stacked. I don't know how that makes sense. I'm sure it's going to be decent. We've tested this. It's okay. Also, is this new? Yeah, it's the roll of the dice one. Okay. But I wonder if, like, to me, I don't know if this is better than Calamity, which just is a huge AoE and is also, like, doing 4,000 damage or something, right? Or, like, 1,500 damage. Also has like no cooldown, which just has 19 cooldown. I don't know how people are balancing things in the game. It makes it's lunacy. A purple is just infinitely better than this. And it's not even like a competition. Like the fact that it has 19 cooldown is insane. It's like we have a Calamity spell that literally has a 9-second cooldown. Has 2 charges, has 2 charges, is ×2, and does stupid high AoE. Like, what? Fucking crazy pills. Anyways, we have Dynamo, Tidebreaker. We have the new shield. I have not got a single of the new shield or the new spell. I wonder if it's like capped on like an account basis, because it's like insane. I've gotten the same things, but I know that the new spell exists because Fluff showed it to me in Discord thing. So I know he's got it to drop, but me, been coming up with loose ends. Feels kind of bad. Oh, my kidney. Kind of slouching pretty hard though, that's why. All right, well, that was we got nothing. I think, right? Nothing. Yikes. What a shit run. Golly. Maybe this is worth killing. It's chaotic. Yeesh, man, they need to increase drop chance of Primordial, because it's like I've seen maybe 2, and we've been like rolling 1,000 souls. Like, it's a lot. But the nothing. Also, oh thank God it worked. I thought we had to like I need to pull stuff out of my vault, but I haven't. Oh, Scout says, okay, yeah. Scout, what am I guess? One of y'all took care of him. Oh, Fluff replied to my thing about the whole gaming industry. I want to hear about it. Give me a sec. Gotta delete this. Gonna jump over here, do this. Also, some of you might say, hey, Grin, damn it, this, jump back into the game, bop, and then this. Some might be saying, hey, Grin, do you have a color palette that you enjoy? No. Yes. Come on, it looks so cool though. It's like purpley gold type thing. Yeah. Oh, but Fluff says, gaming industry is already doing this. I know, man. I seen that. Man, if you guys have not subscribed to a channel called Inside Games, it's a very fun, like, gaming news channel. Very goofy, very like I don't know. It's something. There's like they have like a rhythm to like their news coverage. Whereas I feel like a lot of times the news coverage people seem like they're like synthetic a little bit, you know. These people don't feel that way, at least not to me. But I've also been watching them for a while, so. Gaming industry has already been doing this. Ubisoft has a subscription service. EA has a subscription service. Sony, Microsoft both has their own. The Game Pass sort of thing, best value, but also becomes more expensive, especially if you want full benefits and both PC and console. Yeah, no, I seen that, but it's only like it's $10 to like I think $15, and you can have like discounts on it. So to me, I'm like, but to me, like I haven't seen any of them do what Xbox is doing. Sony hasn't done it. I don't think Ubisoft does it. I don't think EA really does it. But EA, I think it might be. But EA, I think charges a lot. Like EA may do it actually, have like a hey, if you have EA Plus, you'll be able to play this day one, whatever. But or like 2 weeks early. I think they were trying that too. That's when Prey goes out. But it just largely seems like no one's willing to say every single game that we ever upload or we ever create will be uploaded to Game Pass. Like full stop. There it is. You know what I mean? Like you're like, oh, okay. Like there's something about that to me seems like, I don't know. For me, I have zero interest in paying for like any of them besides Xbox's one, which I haven't had to do yet because I haven't I haven't done that yet. But to me, that's the route where I'm pretty content with it, you know? But to me, like I think Sony just released a bunch where it was like, it was still good games, but it was games that either I already have or I don't want to pay $10 for a lot of old games, even if the value might be there, because I just know the whole idea of a subscription service is that you forget that you're paying it, basically. You don't like remember, oh shit, like I desperately want to fucking unsubscribe from Streamlabs, but I keep forgetting to fucking do it. Also, I keep thinking maybe I should download a couple more overlays before I fuck off. But it's a pain in the ass. I'm actually paying like $12 every fucking month for this shit. It's crazy. It's fucking annoying. Actually, I think maybe actually more than $12. Maybe like, yeah. I think it's Canadian things as well. Canadian dollar is lower than America, so it's like, oh, it's not that bad in America, but for Canada, it's still a little bit bad. Vulcanist says, I had kidney stones as a teen, and it hurt like hell to pass them. Dude, I feel like that's the biggest. Maybe it's just my mom had like a person like where we had like a fucking war veteran person in our family lineage. Shout out to him, an amazing person. But he apparently was like in the shit of war, World War whatever 2, 3. I'm sorry, I have no idea. I'm terrible. But he what do you call it? The whole thing was that he had kidney stones, and he would say that was unarguably worse. He'd been shot. He'd been like hungry for weeks or like days, all that stuff. But he said kidney stones was like a special kind of absolute pain. But I think also he had like it seemed like he had an abnormal version of it, like where he literally was passing a stone, like a whole ass rock, you know, where it seems like sometimes there's like technology that can corrode the rock, etc. Like just acids and stuff. But golly. Fluff says, the new class could be a combination of 4th DLC. Not sure if it's sold separately or if it's no, it's tied. Yeah, no, it's definitely tied. If you have the DLC, if you have the season pass that's giving you all of these mirrors, you're also going to get the DLC. I remember that when they first talked about the DLC or the season pass. So if you have the season pass, you're good. Granted, I think every single one of the DLCs, the mirrors, you can buy one of them. So I think each one of them are $10, which is excessive. But you can, I think, do the same thing. I wouldn't see them not doing the modular nature to the other classes. Yeah, so I think you'll be able to buy the new class when it comes out. Hopefully it's not excessively expensive. That'd be not a good call for me, at least. I wouldn't like that very much. But yes. Scott says, any idea when the chaos will rise? Chaos level? I'm hoping that they either, I don't know, man. To be honest, I really despise not the chaos system. I despise the primordial chaotic vault. I think they should just kill all of them. Like volatile should be the base, and you should never see a fucking non-unique weapon. Like, that's the thing that's governing loot now. It's just same as mayhem levels, or like mayhem gear, except now it's even worse because you have to not only get like good substats, an enchantment, and now you need to get a whole other thing on it. Like the amount of time I've seen, like 3 today. I've been farming constantly. I've seen 3 primordials. So I am emotionally not in a place where I want any more chaos levels. Full stop. I hate it. Granted, if they were like, hey, we're going to make it so that volatile gear is now the standard and primordial is like a 17% chance to get it, and you're never going to be seeing a, at the very, just don't let me, maybe it's chaotic, volatile, primordial, but I hate when I see nothing. Like when you open up something and it's not chaotic, it's not volatile, it's not nothing, that's awful. That's an awful feeling, and it makes it's just stupid. It's the same. It's worse than mayhem levels in Borderlands 3, where you were like, if this didn't have the most ungodly mayhem trait, it was garbo. You know, you can't rescale or re-roll those. So it's yeah. Ugh. I have no idea. But case in point, I don't know. But simultaneously, Scott, I also feel like I also want them to rip the fucking Band-Aid off, you know what I mean? I want them just to get it, like, be done with it. I hate the idea that we're sitting here and, like, in the future, I'm like, there's Ascended gear. We still need to get Ascended gear. Primordial, I imagine Primordial is going to be, like, a 2% chance, and then a fucking Ascended is going to be maybe, like, I don't know, like a 0.1% chance or something. And I'm just kind of like, why? Like, it just seems horrible. It just seems horrible to me, man. But at least I want them to get, like, rip off the Band-Aid. Let it be done. Let it be done. So at least that we're dealing with it and we have to exist and we have to fucking solve problems for it. But yeah, I think a lot of it though, all that the volatile, chaotic, and primordial gear does is it like super juices up the because it's such a low drop chance. I feel like it just juices up the modding community, or like the Gib save editor kind of community. People who can like save change things and make them ascended. Like people can already have ascended gear right now if you just have it to drop. Like you can mod an item, not really mod, it's just like you just change a part of the code that scales it up based on that prefix. I think I've already seen stuff like that, but to me that's all that it does. Like it's like people won't just like, I think it's hilarious about things like Netflix and in some cases like any streaming service, like what we're talking about. If you increase the amount of money that people are willing to spend, that doesn't mean they're like, guess I'll spend that money. They say, guess I'll pirate it. They'll find another way to get the thing because it's not the juice ain't worth the squeeze, and it's really hard to go backwards or to go upwards. You know, that's why I think nerfing is kind of like, regardless of how you feel about it, even if it's like an ungodly thing, it still hurts because it creates a feeling of like emptiness / like a lacking. There's a what is it called? There's I forget what it's called. It's like when you take something out of it, there's like a hole or something. A feeling of emptiness. That's not. It's way too way too magical of a way to phrase it. Volcanist says, hopefully they get back to the story DLC if they do a DLC 2 or season 2 DLC. Yeah, I hope Volcanist. My hope, man, is also that I hope they do this right. Like, to me, this is the thing that makes me sad, is that like, this could have been done in such a way that could have made people feel content and satisfying doing it. Not to the extent in which the price tag is there, but they could have made a Headhunter pack which was replayable and it was satisfying because you would be getting like the bounties maybe. Maybe there's exclusive things that drop from exclusive vendors. Like there's a special vending machine that can only you like pay. Again, this idea should have been something, but like just the execution of this, the fact that you do one run of this and then you get every item either in the Chaos Chambers or whatever, or it's not even worth doing the runs because they're not dropping the gear like at all. I've ran it 5 times or 6 times now and I've not gotten one legendary at the ending boss at all, nor the supposed designated drops for each run at all. So to me, it's just like, it makes me sad because I think this could have worked. I just think the execution was so terrible. And also, again, like the DLCs kind of had that same problem of like, well, what happens when you finish the story and when you finish all the side quests? You're kind of sitting there like, Oh, and maybe that's where people are like, well, you have chaos chambers, so like there's always something. They actually added an end game activity besides just farming Tront for 6 hours. So that's a pretty fair thing. At least this game has something that kind of can be done. But but yeah, I think in a perfect world we would have had story DLCs and headhunter packs that were formatted in such a way that was for replayable content, aka endgame kind of headhunter packs, which had like bounties, grind, work, effort, all that shit, you know. Like they wouldn't even upload the base model of the legendaries that's gonna come out eventually, because they know that people will just mod that and find the code and put it into the game ahead of time. So if there was ways to account for all those things, I think that this could have been like huge. But yeah. But also, I know for people who are like, no, I want story. I think, but were you not also the people that maybe that's it? Maybe there's a different people. The people who were like me, who are grinding bosses ungodly amounts, like just keep grinding a boss, killing him over and over again for the best loot, are also not the only player base. Obviously, there's a group of players that also loved to grind stories and just like grind out all of the side quests and experience all the weird story stuff after the long day. They just sit back, hang out, have a good time, crack a beer, listen to some nonsense jokes, and grind, you know. Also, the kidney pain / stone had some sort of sick sense of humor. Relatively painless for a week or so. I was going to stop taking the prescription today, only to wake up in persistent pain. I hate to hear it, Fluff. I hate to hear it, buddy. I hope those painkillers are working, buddy. O'Reilly says, "What's your loot luck, sir?" I don't know if it's that good. Let me see. Actually, it should be good. You've done a lot. Oh, I haven't been spending my points also. That's probably a part of it. My loot luck is, how do we see that? Is it in this? Yes. Loot luck is 26, which I thought it was 40 something. Weird. I thought it was 40 at some point, but I guess not. Weird. I've collected all the dice on this save file and stuff. Ooh, Fluff says, I'm guessing we won't see another increase to Chaos rank until maybe the 3rd DLC drop. I think that's a lot of the feedback was negative regarding the first DLC, considering that was a 15 more Chaos level ranks. Yeah. But I think, again, I don't know if it's the Chaos level that's the issue, which I do dislike, but I think it's just the fact that, like, it'd be one thing if almost all of the gear that you were getting was at least volatile and primordial. That way, it was a general, like, ascended, like you ascended, but instead you're like, I have yet to see consistent primordials ever, you know what I mean? Like, it's just crazy, but yet that's what level 35 is kind of scaling off of. So it's just like, what? So like, again, I think people would be a lot less pissed at the Chaos level if it was like a 50% chance to get a volatile, and then like a 20 or a 30% chance to get primordial, and then like a not a single chance to get chaotic, you know, or something like that. Anything to be free of the because yeah, that's my thing. I think like it is insanely hard to replace your gear, like insanely hard to get primordial, but yet the whole game is scaling off of that. And then yet they're nuking things that give you that level of scaling to exist within endgame. You know, or not nuking, but you know what I'm saying. It's like it's weird to have that baseline angle that for them to then be starting to like take down skills that have double dipped and etc. in certain ways. Feels a little lost. But golly, I think we got 2 there. Oh, I forgot to drop items. Also, I am starving, man. I did not eat enough today. I had crackers and a little bit of meat, not too much. Come here. This one. Is that it? No, it's one this. Oh, we got bonk. Oh, it's okay. Now we got the thing. No more legendary threads. No more legendary threads. We got bonk. It's chaotic. It doesn't have a special effect to it, you son of a bitch. Why is that so hard to find? Apparently it's really rare, actually. I actually don't mind that. The fact that we're taking a long time for us to get a special prefix. Not too bad. Oh, my back. Since the DLC also equates to a title update. Alright, yeah. Oh, I forgot about the yeah, because there's hot fixes in the meantime, right? Right. They've also reduced the value of sub time cards for Xbox Live Gold and the like. You can use them to convert into Game Pass Ultimate time, but it's significantly less for its cost. Oh, okay. The question is if the new class will be a sold separately, like the 4 mirrors are outside of the season. I would see they have to. I couldn't see them doing that, especially now that their system seems to be built on that like exclusion. So like again, none of the class mods are tied to that. You know, and I could see it being harder to like say, hey, this is class specific legendaries. Now we're gonna flip on all these switches as soon as you download the save file. I feel like that'd be more complicated than just saying. No, you can just download this thing and it's going to work with all the class mods because they're not relegated or segregated to individual playstyles or, Spore Warden or whatever. I'm going to drink my coffee because I'm getting actually quite hungry. Getting a little bit of pain in my stomach. Ooh. Also, what's good, Nanny? I see you popping. What's good, Nanny? How's the day been, buddy? Nanny, I feel like I asked you this, but what game are you currently playing? I feel like you told me this. Nanny says, how has it been, Grin? And how's the farming going? It's going pretty good. We've got, it's actually not a 9 lat. It's horrible. Absolute trash. We've gotten like 3 things. It's not good. None of them are primordial. None of them are like something to write home about. It's just like I can exist a little bit. I have still yet to get a lot of the legendaries just as a base. I don't even know if it's possible. Maybe the game is like relegated. Like, hey, you only get the spells. You only get bonk or salt to something. Salt to battery. And I haven't gotten any of that. I haven't gotten the new spell, and I think it's possible to get it. I haven't got the new shield. I think I got the new class mod. I get class mod, spell, one of the spells, and bonk / salted battery. Also, wouldn't it be nice to have a chair that actually had a headrest that actually would fit your body? Instead, it's like my head's hanging off the end, and this is me like not fully standing up. Like, this is not great, guys. This is not great. That's not normal. How about you, Nanny? How have you been, buddy? Duke says, fun fact, the stone in the kidneys have spikes. Ooh, I feel like, what, really? I feel like whenever I seen, like, I think my dog ate like a rock at one point. It had like a stone within his stomach, and his gut acid would just turned it into like a tiny pebble, but it was perfectly round, but it looked like it was getting like devoured. Oh, my stomach. Okay. Let's check if we have anything besides what we looked at just now. We have a crap ring. Ooh, it's primordial, these. When ward full. That's actually not bad at all. Hey, guys. It's not a new, like, legendary thing, but something. Huh. We got that. Ooh, I got cramps in my gut right now. I don't like that. I have been a little under the weather, so that's what's happened there. Ooh, Dynamo. 2 spell cast. Ooh. I actually have cramps in my stomach right now. Oh, that's not good. It's been a full month since the kidney stones started causing me pain. So happy anniversary, I guess. Oof. Ooh, I'm getting cramps in my stomach right now. Why the fuck is it doing that? Ooh. Guys, I'm unbuttoning my pants. Oh. I don't know what's happened. Whew. Is it my fucking... No, I don't know. It's the same as last stream. We're just going to end it on a nightmare. Is it a coffee? I don't know what's doing that. It's not enjoyable. It's... Oof. Dude, I'm such a baby. Everyone takes their health for granted so easily. Including myself. Let's back out. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I think that's all the farm we're gonna have. Yeah, fuck. You know, Nat, I'm not doing great right now. It's not very good. Red says, I'm sorry, Fluff. I really hope you feel... Yeah, no shit. Red. Also, I didn't mean that in a negative way. Sorry. I just meant, like, I'm with you, buddy. I'm backing up Red. I didn't mean to say, like, no shit. Oh, my fucking guts are hurting right now. A lot. I've been sick and having, like, cramps for a while, but this is bad. Fire Source, why you joining, buddy? We're about to end it. We about to end it, but you look great. Oh, I got cramps in my stomach. Crazy says, cool if I join you. Extremely bored. No, Crazy. I'm just, yeah, we're winding down right this second, actually. Oh my God. I have to make a thumbnail. TBH, right now I'm playing, are you all right? No, I don't think so, actually. I'm actually thinking I need to leave real quick because it's actually getting pretty quite painful. TBH right now I'm playing nothing but because all my characters in Tiny Tina's had their stories reset, and even when I complete the game campaign, the next time I get back, I'm back on the tutorial bunkers and bannasses. That sucks, dude. Have you messaged the Borderlands Twitter? Ladies and gentlemen, I am gonna leave. Yeah. Well, we were winding down anyway, but this is quite the way to end it. Thank you so much for your time. I have real bad cramps in my guts right now, real bad. Thank you so much for your time. Hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day. I'll upload a thumbnail right now. If it's not uploaded, it's because I can't do it. Thank you so much. Hopefully I can see you guys tomorrow. We'll be streaming over at Twitch. In our set. Thank you so much for your time. Hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day, and goodbye. Thanks, everybody. Super sweet.